You know I miss the cold, I hate the summertime. I am the king of wasting time, and I feel bad about it. Lately I don't feel blue, no longer doom and gloom. Beautiful flower, I bloom, found my way out of my tomb. Never could have guessed that the worst things I have ever faced will leave me standing tall today. My spirit and sick. Never could have guessed that the first time that I saw her face, I would wake up at her place. A goddamn smile on my face, lightning feeling good. Not likely that I'll ever get my shit together. Half my life I felt like I was under the weather. All my future endeavors I fought from dog. Getting flipped up in the train tracks. Never wanna take those days back. I know I was young, I was living my life like a goddamn idiot. Started shit and we finished it. At least I live my life with style. I no longer feel so I feel a fire again. I feel a spark inside my heart. I feel alive again. I feel a fire again. I feel a spark inside my heart. I feel alive again. I feel the fire it burns. I feel a fire again. I feel a spark inside my heart. I feel alive again. You know I miss the boys that are out in Santa Cruz. Some days wish I lived on the moon. Never had to meet another douchebag. Think back to when I met the boys age 19. We were living on Chandler Street, fucking it up in December. Never could have guessed that all the times we cheated dead. I'll be standing here reminded, my heart, my spirit, someone sick. Really should have guessed that all the times that we got faded, that my brain might get downgraded. Thank God, I think I'm feeling alright. I feel a fire again. I feel a spark inside my heart. I feel alive again. I feel a fire again. I feel a spark inside my heart. I feel alive again. I feel the fire it burns. I feel a fire again. I feel a spark inside my heart. I feel alive again. Patiently waiting for the day to come where they fuck us for the rest of our lives. Well, I told you all once, well, I told you all twice that this is the start of our demise. 1, 2! Well, they fill your head with thoughts, try to twist you up inside, and they always seem to fake a smile.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Few first things. Gonna go over like some possible trade setups. The trade I just gave to my students and some of the other trade analysis people. So for those of you that don't know, if you're new, I have two, I guess, programs through Patreon. One is the Trading 101. I've discussed several times that I am not doing the live sessions until next September, but there's 4 months worth of lectures that you can probably get done within a month. You also get live chats with me, swing trade setups, and everything else. It is obviously the most expensive package, as there are hour to hour and a half long lectures. There's, again, 4 months worth of content. There should be 2 a week, so you do the math on that. There's about 4 months, there's 4 weeks in a month, so you've got about 16, you got 32 videos up there, all about an hour to an hour and a half a piece. All of my students, I've never received one complaint. All of them have been, fortunately, very gracious or grateful, very thankful. They really enjoy the content. I tried to answer all of their questions, take their feedback, and they were my first wave of students, so the whole point of that, although teaching them, was teaching myself how to teach people, because I didn't go to school to teach people. With that said, again, if you just want the trade setups, you just kind of want the private chat, there's that other option as well. I'm not one of these assholes that charges like $200 a month. Like, my trading class isn't even $200 a month. I easily could charge more, but I don't. I want to give you guys information and my time at a reasonable rate that's fair to all of you. All right. With all that said, I took a short trade, and I'm going to walk you guys through that real quick. Took a short trade last night. I was went to the pool last night. It was 90 degrees. Now it's raining and awful outside. But I was just glancing at charts, and I noticed we were in a bear flag. Could it continue lower? Sure. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that in a minute. But I saw the bear flag, and I saw this. And if I zoomed in more, you can see that this is a double top. It's a perfect M right here, double top. You see that in both a bear and bull flag. Well, in a bear flag, you'd see a double top. In a bull flag, you'd see a double bottom. I've seen this setup so many times, so I said, why not just take a low-risk short? Ended up selling it right about here, taking profit, made a couple $1,000s, and called it a day. Could it drop more? Sure. But at the moment, I know fear and greed is at 8. I know RSI on the day is very, very low. I know, there are several other indicators that say we kind of need a relief bounce. I mean, in all honesty, guys, we've dropped, close to 50% if you go from top to bottom, but still currently like 40% without a significant relief bounce. Usually you'll see a relief bounce. It's not uncommon that we have relief in this market, even in a downtrend. So to me, it just felt like, hey, let's take profits while we can, kind of thing. All right, let's see who's in chat. Imran, you're first. Congratulations. Sneaky second. Congratulations. I wish I could give you guys prizes for that kind of shit, but Red Jackal third. You guys are quick. I appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. This reminds me of Ray William Johnson back in the early YouTube. I need a wall of like all those pictures maybe. And like that crazy voice he has. What's up, everybody? Death cross on the 3-day chart, sure enough. So death crosses, although will signal more downside, they actually have an inverted effect where you'll actually see a pump either leading up to the cross or right after the cross. Basically, it's just like a bull trap. And then we dump from there. Low volume, maybe some bounce here. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And we're going to get into that once I look at Bitcoin day. If we go into 28.8, I will be taking a long. So for all of you guys watching today, you have a long setup with me. Although it's a very low risk long. I'm not holding below 28.5 through that. It's getting ready for a leg up. I mean, it could, but ultimately, I don't see this going higher than, the highest we could probably go is like 40K. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Agreed, in a way, Micro. El Salvador could buy the dip. El Salvador buying means absolutely nothing to me. El Salvador's buys are way underwater, and that man is literally screwing his entire country over. And for those people that are like, oh, he's doing something innovative, he's putting his money in Bitcoin, like, that's great. But his people are starving, one of the most impoverished countries in the world. I'm convinced that it's still led by the cartel. I don't even think he makes the decisions. I think he's just a person that stands and wears his fancy outfit. Above and beyond that, I'm pretty sure his people don't even want it. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the people don't even want it. And even still, okay, so you bought Bitcoin near the top, pretty much riding on the way to the bottom. You know, that's great. Maybe you guys have to remember, investments aren't a guaranteed to go back up. And this man was buying the most predictable market top we've ever seen in a volatile asset. Beyond that, he's buying a volatile asset when his people are poor, starving, committing crimes every single day. Like, that country is taking a huge risk, or he is taking a huge risk buying Bitcoin. I think there are other ways to go about it. Maybe, better way. I think there's a better way to go about it. Plus, him buying Bitcoin in the country making money only benefits him. It doesn't benefit the other people. Like, the other people in the country aren't going to get some kind of like money back from his investments. He's going to take it all. He's a greedy piece of shit. Nasdaq would need a bounce. DXY is definitely going higher. I mean, we're literally looking at recession. All right, let's look at some stock indexes before we get started. Just going to keep it real quick because you guys know what I've said from Monday stream. So looks like our stock index is just tanked and did not create a lower low this week yet. But ultimately, I've said, there's a big possibility we get a bounce, retest this area of prior support, which is now acting as future resistance. We've held it here, some a little bit here, a little bit here. That's why I always give horizontal levels of support much more confluence than diagonal. With that said, I mean, we could literally just tank all the way down to 29.5 or 29.7, wherever that support zone is. Looks like we are. I thought yesterday, seeing what yesterday was leading to, I thought maybe we'd bounce and get our little dead cat bounce to reset. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3. I mean, this is like 9 red weeks in a row. That is crazy. I don't know if the Dow has ever seen 9 red weeks in a row. I mean, how much are we down? In all honesty, like 12%. Jeez, it's a lot. S&P still following the head and shoulders here. Again, nothing's really changed as part of our analysis. I mean, I'm still thinking we get a relief bounce to this area. It's perfectly normal. It would be healthy. We're approaching oversold zones, and I mean, you even look at like the day, a little bit of divergence forming, maybe possible double bottom here. I could see a relief bounce. I mean, nothing crazy. Like, we'll probably get back to like 42, 43 area. I mean, we could literally just go to like 41.50. I would suggest not trading dead cat bounces. They are very, very hard to determine when to sell. Or I would say if you are trading it and you're in profit, be greedy. You're never going to catch the absolute top or bottom. If you're in profit, take profit, especially when your system's saying, hey, this move is a little sketchy, and especially when we have a macro bearish distributive pattern that has been confirmed. Like, ultimately, if you're a macro trader, you're not worried about this. You're worried about catching down here, maybe down here, and even further. You don't care about the dead cat bounces. There's just too much stress and too much work. Nasdaq, same thing. I mean, kind of looking at a head and shoulders here. I've also said that possible double top here with the retest. If we're looking at the head and shoulders, I mean, here's your neckline, a little bit of resistance here, a little bit of support here. Yes, it is normal for a head and shoulders to break below the neckline periodically, forming the right shoulder, and then further breaking down from there. Just looking at the moving averages, looks like we have a death cross, and I'm just going to get rid of this. Looks like we have a death cross. If we do see a bounce, I think the Nasdaq will bounce the hardest. However, we could just go to the 200 weekly moving average. With that said, let's even draw some other maybe support resistance zones here. Maybe right here. Possibly some here. So yeah, I mean, Nasdaq probably going to test the 200 moving average until, I guess, until we get a bounce. I mean, I don't see it bouncing now. We're kind of below support, if you're going to call that support. Hi, Roman. How do you recognize what is forming small reversal or consolidation before a dump because volume is low and it goes sideways? Experience, knowing what consolidation looks like, knowing what reversal looks like. Just so you guys know, with Bitcoin, really with anything, there is almost always a reversal pattern before a large move up. Usually like an accumulation reversal pattern or a distributive reversal pattern. I mean, you can see here, head and shoulders, clear as day. If you were holding this, you would have sold somewhere up here. It's impossible to call the top, and you would have saw this, the dip below, the dead cat bounce back to make that right hand shoulder, and you'd sell there. But honestly, man, it takes experience, pattern recognition, knowing what volume is supposed to look like, and in all honesty, like, just experience. Like, your gut will get a feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but my gut gets a feeling like maybe I should take a long or maybe I should take a short. Now, I'm not relying on my gut. I look at all the other indicators, but if my gut's like, hey, maybe we should get out of this trade, I'm going to get out, which is what I did. I got out at 29,000 this morning on my short. It looks like we're $200 higher. Still waiting about 3 more hours to put a long in, if I'm going to even put a long in, but we'll see. Total charts. We've talked about this possibility of a head and shoulders. Yeah, it doesn't get any more obvious than what's on there. I'm going to delete some of these lines just because it's making everything a little flustered. Ultimately, if we close below this orange line this week, things start getting ugly. You start closing below the purple line, and things definitely get ugly. It's up in the air whether wicks or closes really do a lot, but I will say there's a lot of volume on this weekly. It would not surprise me if we just nuked next week or the weeks coming. You guys can very clearly see head and shoulders here, and this would be your neckline down here. That would be your neckline. Again, we drew this ascending like diagonal line. Again, we've broken down. There's a lot of signs that point to total breaking down further. Obviously, we have recession pretty much coming, pretty much here already. I don't know. I don't understand how a person can say that recession isn't coming. Go to your gas station, and the gas is a good example because gasoline, oil, everything like of that oil, I guess, is literally in everything. Your cars, my mouse, my pens, my pencils, my paper, my transportation. I think I already said like cars, but transportation, like think about it. If transportation goes up, hotel prices are going to go up too because they're not getting any business. And they need to maintain profits, or they could just go out of business. If you're a fisherman, gasoline for your boat. Now seafood starts going up in price. I don't know how else to explain that. Everything literally goes up in price when gas and oil goes up, which is a big trigger of recession. I'm talking about DXY getting ready for a leg up. Oh, gotcha. Not necessarily the ECB signal. They would be more hawkish, adding strength to the euro. If they're adding strength to the euro or the dollar, that's pretty bearish for every other asset class. What are we shorting to? I already closed my short on Bitcoin at about 29,000. Part of me doesn't want to watch the charts. Part of me was up a couple $1,000s within like 12, 16 hours. And part of me thinks that we will have a relief bounce soon. Mate, just a tip. If you drew support lines, please let us know the dollar figure. It's too small to follow for mobile viewers to see the right. Hey, I can do that. I can do that, but you can always watch the stream back. And I've never changed my support and resistance, but also I don't know if you can see here, but I can try and make it a little bigger for you. That's no problem. Total 2. Looks like we're kind of a little bit below our golden support line here. Again, same thing with total 1. Start closing below the blue line, which is 600 billion. Things will definitely get very ugly. Again, we're looking at possible head and shoulders here. I'm going to delete some of these lines just because we don't need all this clutter on the chart. Actually, we'll leave that one blue. But yeah, I mean, you start closing below the second blue line, things get ugly. Total 3. Total 3 is actually the worst looking of all of them. We are far below our golden support line. And Total 3 is all of the alts except for Ethereum, and obviously except Bitcoin. I've said this probably hundreds of times. Your altcoins are going to get absolutely slaughtered over the next 6 to 12 months. We're talking, I don't care if your altcoin's down 90% right now, it's going to lose another 90% from where it's at. What happened with Luna? Luna was obviously, a very quick crash, but that is most likely what's going to happen to the rest of these altcoins. And over a much slower period of time, there will be bounces and whatnot. And I guarantee you, 80 to 90% of those altcoins that go down, 90 to 99%, will never, ever even reach half of the amount to their previous all-time highs. Keep that in mind when you want to invest in altcoins and hodl altcoins. No one cares about altcoins. They are pump and dump schemes. Like big money doesn't want altcoins. They don't care about altcoins. They don't care what they do or their utility or if they're better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I'll give you this. Some of them are. Actually, I'd say most of them are. They don't care. They don't care what the dev team does. They don't care what anyone thinks, what exchange they're on. They don't want any part of them because 99% of them are pump and dump schemes. And they literally go up 100% and then down 50% the next day. That big money wants no part of that. Absolutely none. Bitcoin and Ethereum only. I mean, you can certainly go into other alts, but I would highly suggest that more than 75% of your portfolio, if you're long term, be Bitcoin and Ethereum. I only DCA Bitcoin and Ethereum. I could care less what ass, shit, and Shoecoin are doing. I don't care. I've been in this market long enough to know what they do and how they act. I don't care what XRP is doing. XRP is literally dog shit. I don't care who says XRP is going up. It will never go up past all-time highs. I don't care what the SEC case says. It's literally going to absolutely nuke the value of XRP. They wouldn't have prolonged the case this long if XRP was innocent, if Ripple was innocent. That's all I got to say. Wish I had a friend like you to learn something new every day and get better every day. Wouldn't probably have lost my money either. As much as I say that I believe I'm a good trader, I still lose money here and there. But I made, for all of the trades that I've lost over the last couple weeks, I made about 10 times what I lost today. So the whole point of trading is, one, you're never always going to be right. There are going to be times where I'm wrong. And, it's when I'm wrong, everyone on Twitter is going to say, you're a shitbag, you're this, you're that. That's fine. I don't care. I don't really care what you guys say. I'll just, whatever, brush it off, move on. Who cares? But the point is that you're winning more than you're losing in amount. So when I trade, I only maximum risk 1 to 2% total portfolio. If I am not confident at all, I risk 0.5%. I'm very confident, 2%, maybe 3% if I'm very confident, or if I'm on a huge win streak and I'm very confident. But for the most part, you have to stay in a realm of good risk management. That's one thing I teach in my trading classes, if you're interested. Protocols need at least 10 years and heavy usage to prove themselves, most likely. Roman definitely helped me step up my game. I appreciate it. SEC are busy now seizing phones of Wall Street traders. The SEC is a massive organization. They can do multiple things at once. But all right, DXY. Wow, look at this. Literally following the plan to the key. We said we would reject 105, most likely come down, maybe retest this diagonal, this historical diagonal, and then bounce and head back up. We needed the cool-off, just similar to down here when we were overbought. Very, very overbought in this realm of about 96, 97. We had a pullback, got all the way down to 55, and exploded from there. I'm realistically expecting the same result here. We've left this drawing on our chart for 2 or 3 weeks. Very much expect the same result from down here. USDT.D. So what does this mean? When this pumps, that means crypto is most likely going down. When this dumps, it means that crypto is most likely going up. This is dominance by Tether, by USDT. USDT. Ah, man, it's just like a tongue twister. But yeah, I mean, if you want more confluence, right now we're in price discovery. This is very, very bullish for USDT. .d. And if you're one of those people calling a bottom or calling for new all-time highs in crypto, because I know there's plenty of them, this is not what you want to see. You would rather see something like this, where we're going down. But honestly, I don't see it happening. Now, could we retest this area for some relief? Yes, I think relief is needed for continuation. You can't just keep going up forever. There has to be periods of consolidation and relief for continuation of the trend. But in all honesty, I mean, this is a very, very bullish pattern. You have a ascending triangle here, and it looks like we had a nice breakout. I would expect a retest or some kind of consolidation before continuing higher. Again, very, very bearish for crypto. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. All right, let's talk about it. So first things first, we are moving sideways. It's pretty obvious. We're moving sideways with lower volume. So what does this mean? This could mean a lot of different things, but most likely what this means is we are resetting RSI. So essentially you'll keep continuing sideways, keep seeing lower volume. You'll reset RSI, get this to 50, reset MACD, get MACD up here back to our average. Sorry, I have to draw with a mouse. It's very difficult. Reset to the average, and then we'll dump more. I left this diagonal as a point of confluence to see if we just, kind of do some of this and then dump. Honestly, I don't think we are in a phase to dump or, in a charting capability to dump 20%. I mean, you're talking, if we're going to drop to 20K, talking about a 30% crash when RSI is already very, very oversold. It's possible for sure. But I'm not counting on that, and I think, a small little relief bounce and tap this, go back down. I think that's very, very likely. Also, we do have some slight support right here, so that would line up perfectly. We'll leave that line for now and see if we actually hit it. Roman, have you seen Inspo's tweets of Tether Treasury sending back money from exchanges back to the Treasury? What do you think this means? It means that people are taking profits and Tether is actually redeeming the tokens, which means that all of these thoughts that Tether is fraudulent are actually not true because they're literally redeeming tokens. Ideally, not even ideally, but people thought that Tether, didn't have the reserves to pay their investors back. So basically, what happens is, let's say you have party A and party B, and you'll have party A, let's say this is me and this is Tether. So I'll say, hey, Tether, here's $10,000. You give me 10,000 USDT back so then I can buy crypto. Well, let's say I make 15,000 USDT and I exchange it back to Tether, and then they give me 15,000 back. That's essentially what that's doing. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, Tether doesn't have the assets to redeem this, but they've redeemed over $12 billion. I think they're doing okay. There's been no depeg. We're still at 0.9987. So I wouldn't worry too much about Tether and what Tether's doing. I'd worry more about these other scam artists and these scam projects. Now, if you're truly worried, then take your money out of USDT and use another stablecoin or use USD or use whatever you want. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I am not worried at all. Did I take half of my account out of USDT as the fear could trigger something? Yes. I'm not going to risk hundreds of thousands of dollars on the idea that, hey, I'm just going to be right. Like, that's great. I could be right. But if I'm wrong, I lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not worth it. So, yes, I did take half of my account out. But do I believe that it will crash? No, I don't believe so. Hey man, first time watching you. What do you think of Sol? I don't really go over altcoins during the bear market. Yo, I'm late, bro. I'll watch from the start. Yo, what's up, Cash? I mean, you can just watch now. We're going over Bitcoin's TA now. I don't understand why not just sell back to USD. Well, some exchanges don't allow you to sell back to USD. Them do not allow you. I don't know why my bots are not going off again. This is a problem that I've had with Streamlabs for quite a while. And I need to fix this or else it's going to piss me off. So we are going to move a window over. And I'm going to check this out real quick. Partially because, so you guys, maybe you've seen my tweets, maybe you haven't. Both Bitget and MEXC are hosting trading competitions, both for huge amounts of cash. Bitget's is a team-based competition, and MEXC's is an individual competition. MEXC's for like 150K, and Bitget's for over 200 Bitcoin in rewards. And they have like first through 10th place. It's not all 200 to one person. So if you guys have a small account, or you're a pretty good trader, but you have a small account, I would suggest entering the competition. What do you have to lose? There are links in my Discord, Twitter, YouTube description. I'm just trying to see if I can get them for you guys, because I know a lot of people are like, where can I access the links? And I'm like, I have the things on my live stream, but they're not coming up. So give me one moment and make sure that this is on. This is so annoying when Streamlabs just decides not to work. All right, they should be working now. I don't know why they were turned off. Will PayPal work in paying for your Patreon subscription? You'd have to see if Patreon accepts PayPal. I'm pretty sure they do. I've been staking Tectonic on investing in the Kronos change. I imagine it will go bye-bye soon, probably. Possible HS forming on 5-minute. I don't really look at super low time frames like that. It's really difficult to go over really, really low time frames when I only stream like 2 or 3 times a week. But all right, let's get back in the daily. So yeah, like I said, one thing's for sure, we have very, very low volume. Why would I want to long at 28.8 thousand? So for those of you that don't know, if you're not in my Discord, please join. It's literally free. We talk every day. There's a ton of learning tools, and it's very respectful and everything. If you're not, people that aren't respectful get banned, but it's a good place. So first things first. 28.6, 28.5 level is our bottom of our demand zone. Any kind of close below this area, and we're in for a lot of pain. This market is going to dump straight down to 20K. Now, I've talked about RSI being oversold, MACD kind of not being in a place where I think it will dump further. However, it doesn't matter what I think. We could literally just dump more. So if we get down to like 28.8, 28.7, will I long? Yes. Will I put my stop loss like right here? Yes. Will that be like a 0.75%, loss? Yes. I'm not willing to take big risk right now, as there are no signs of reversal on the daily. That would be a long based on support and resistance holding, and the fact that I think we could go sideways, maybe retest this area before going back down. And in all honesty, that's about a 10, 12, 13% gain. Definitely worth, but man, I would not go heavy with that. I'd probably use 10, 20% account value with a 1% stop. That's a 0.2% total loss. So again, with the risk management, 0.2% total loss is hardly anything. You can make thousands of trades with that kind of risk management. However, I'm not willing to go, with a very large amount, because there's no reversal pattern here. There's no true bullishness with MACD. Now, some people will look at this MACD and say, oh, that's bullish. This is actually not bullish. This is actually very bearish. This shows that consolidation's happening. And RSI being very oversold. Again, we could continue to dump. We could definitely dump a lot further. We've seen price dump all the way down to 17 points, and we're at 32 points right now. So we could definitely dump. The question is, when and where is our relief bounce going to be? Let's even see. Yes, it's 18 points, 17 points, and we're at 31. So we could definitely dump a lot more. Don't get that out of your mind. We could definitely dump a lot more. Do you have a time frame for when stocks are down 50% from all-time highs? That is when I will begin DCA. Roman, you are the GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate it. Daily close below 29.5. Be bearish and continue. No, it's 28.5, because we've had several closes in this area, and it looks like we've bounced off it several times. Not to mention some of our wicks all the way down here. Good area of confluence there. Leverage, or do you not futures trade? Futures and leverage are the same thing. I don't use leverage, though. I don't use leverage because I don't need, one, I don't need to, and two, leverage is for experienced traders. And if you have a if you don't have at least 5 years of experience, don't use leverage. Like, leverage is there so that you lose. They wouldn't offer leverage if people were winning all the time. That's just not how that works. Stocks, you mean? Yeah. So I mean the indexes. Yes. Right. Let's look at some hourly charts. So 12-hour. One thing I want to notice is that we have stair-stepping volume here. We have MACD looking to go down. We actually have a break in our RSI trend line. We also have a break in our bear flag. These are all extremely bearish. Extremely bearish. We have price action to match, volume to match the breakdown candle. That's higher than really the last 5-6 days worth of volume. And on top of that, RSI breakdown, MACD looking to fold and go down. Ultimately, if we dump, we dump. We probably will, honestly. A relief bounce is something that everyone is expecting right now. And if everyone's expecting the same thing, it is most likely not going to happen. And I will say, a lot of these traders, we'll just call them traders for now, they've only traded in a bull market. They have never traded in a bear market. I'm talking about, man, I'm going to get called out for this, but I'm talking about a lot of the people that you guys think I'm really tight with or boys with, like, they've never traded in a bear market. They've never. Not a crypto bear market. Hell no. I can tell because, one, they're inexperienced and they expect things to happen rather than looking at the chart and seeing them. Two, they fall for every single one of these dead cat bounces. And I've taken notice of it. I'm talking anyone from Moon Boys to these permabear people. And you guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not going to name names. I don't feel like I should. But you guys know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm trying to make it obvious here. We got some permabears out here that literally have no idea what they're doing. And they saw bearish signals in the bull market, or they were copying other analysts, especially Inspo and I. I mean, people have copied the absolute shit out of Inspo and I. And it's whatever. But you're never going to get good at trading if you don't figure it out on your own. There's an H&S in the hourly. Bro, nobody has ever traded in an equity bear market either. Nobody. This is the first. No, I'm talking about crypto bear market. I can give a shit less about equities. Crypto and stocks are not correlated. Like, did I say it? Oh, I said it. They're not correlated. And I mean they're not correlated on an intra-trend relationship. Macro-wise, yes, every asset is correlated. So here, I'll draw it for you. So when the economy is growing, all of your assets are going to go up. Any asset that's worth a damn will go up. When your economy is going down, all of your assets are going to go down. That's how that works. So yes, you could say that everything is correlated by this very basic concept. But no, I'm going to disagree with you. Stocks and crypto are not correlated. I'll even prove it to you. So here's Bitcoin's weekly. And let's even look at the S&P 500 weekly in 2018. Whoops, I'm going to select the other chart. So here's Bitcoin's weekly. Here is the S&P 500. Get rid of some indicators. Let's go to 2018. So I want you guys to look from 2017 to 2019. The stock market literally only went up. Okay? Look at, and crypto went up in 2017. Great. We'll even look at 2018 just because it's a better comparison. I know that there's a couple smooth brains in here that won't understand what I'm saying. So let's look at 2018. Strictly 2018. 2018, stocks went down, made a new all-time high before going back down. This was actually a mini recession. Mini recession. Can you believe it? Mini recession. In 2018, Bitcoin went down, and this was until 2019. Bitcoin just went down the entire time with no relief bounce, no new all-time high. Okay, nothing. Like 80% drop. 84% drop. No relief bounce, no new all-time high, no nothing. There are analysts right now that are calling for new all-time highs on Bitcoin. This is one of the most clear examples of what happens during recession. Now, you guys have the historical analysis, and this is a very small part because this is a mini recession. This was not a full-blown recession, but this is a mini recession. This is a crypto bear market, right? So for those of you that are like, oh, crypto and stocks are correlated, the Nasdaq and the S&P and Bitcoin, they're all the same. No, they're not. They are definitely not the same. Intra-trend relationships do not exist. Macro-wise, yes, macro, if you're looking at economy going up, yes, your assets will also go up. But if your economy goes down, all of your assets are also going to go down, including gold. Like gold always goes down before recession kicks in. And a lot of people don't know this. It's amazing. Let's see. Yes, they are. They are not. Your inexperience is, I'm not going to call them out. They don't deserve that because I don't need a war between people that I'm friends with. And I can be friends with them and disagree and think they're inexperienced. That's, there's a reason why I'm not inviting people on my live streams anymore or anything like that because they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. You say we're going to drop when Carl the Moon and Crypto already hit the 26K bottom. I think both those kids are idiots. Bitcoin corrected 90% in equity bull market. What happens when... Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. And people say, like, all-time highs are going to hold. Like, they don't. Guess we got to be careful about the market with that new monkeypox spread. First cases... What the... Monkeypox? What is it? Does it make you, like, throw, like, poo at each other? And what? Never heard of that. I'm going to get all-time high on my profits from crypto. Nice. Yeah, I just... You guys have a perfect example here of a mini recession and what happens to Bitcoin in a recession. Although this is a mini recession, this is what happens. Bitcoin goes down and has no relief bounce. No new all-time high. Yeah, okay. Some of these are relief bounces in here. They're very difficult to trade. They're very, very abrupt. And I mean, this is 5 weeks. 5 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, capitulation. This is your capitulation support right here. I don't understand people that say Bitcoin and stocks are correlated. Like, no, they're not. If you have half a brain and you do historical analysis and you check the charts, you can easily see that they're not. Yes, on a macro scale, every asset is correlated to the stock market going up. Houses, used cars, food, gold, everything, because the entire economy is gaining value. All the other assets are going to gain value too. I mean, you zoom out and you say, okay, they're correlated. Yeah, but if you look at the intra-trend relationships, like, guys, if you're willing to hold an 85% crash, you're an absolute idiot and you're a terrible trader. Like, you should be taking profits along the way up here and getting out periodically. You can surely rebuy, but there is no reason to be holding an 85% correction. That's taking, let's say you take your $100,000 portfolio and you're like, I'm just going to hodl. You're willing to watch 85 grand disappear because you weren't willing to take profits and possibly buy at better prices. It is impossible to sell the top and buy the bottom, but these profits are profits regardless. You should be taking profits no matter what happens. Check it out. No, I will check it out. I mean, I'm not making fun of you. I'll check it out. I've never heard of it, man. It sounds like a crazy made up disease like COVID. I said it. Guys, I'm still convinced that COVID was just a distraction for our economy or our wealthy elite to just exit markets and prop up markets so that they could prolong recession, essentially. They follow each other somewhat. Yes, in the grand scheme of economics, every asset follows itself, but it doesn't, that doesn't mean that, okay, yes, in the grand scheme, they're all correlated, but in intra-trend, and especially when we have an example of what happens at the beginning and end of a recession with indexes in Bitcoin, I don't understand, this concept that correlate. Like, no, I'm not going to believe that. Who's my favorite analyst? Myself. And I know that sounds egotistical, but I don't care what anyone else says. I only follow my own analysis. But I guess, if you're going to really ask me who's my favorite trader, probably Peter Brandt. Do you trade pocket options? No, I only trade crypto. Why would they want to prolong a recession? So they can keep making money. Guys, the people that have a lot of money don't care if we're going into recession. Like, I hate to break this to you, but people with millions of dollars could literally don't care if we're going into recession. They have millions of dollars. They don't care. Like, their millions of dollars are making them more money than ever. Like, I know people that have made so much money in the last 2 years, they don't even care. They don't even know we're going through a recession. They don't even know that prices are going up because they made so much money. All right, let's talk 4 hour. 4 hour looking bearish. Obviously, we have this bear flag. We have multiple touches here. Validates the flag. We have a breakdown with the highest volume we've seen in about 5 days. So yes, I would say it's valid. However, the daily is showing very low volume. So this is what I'm looking at. 12 hour we said is bearish. 4 hour we're seeing is bearish. Day we're seeing is bearish, but we could consolidate and possibly see relief. So as a trader, you have to recognize these things and say, okay, there's a big possibility we just dump. Is it even worth a long? Which I would argue not worth a large long. If we, depending on how this day closes in this area and not below the red demand zone, then I would say, hey man, maybe take a small long, take a jab at it. But if I'm going to be honest, there are no signs of reversal on the daily. The 4 hour, 12 hour, 1 hour, all bearish. The weekly looks horrendous. The weekly looks like we're about to drop even further. We made a lower low. We have a lower low through our support. We're at the bottom of our demand zone. We have volume going up, price going down. We just got out of a 6-month bear flag. I'm anticipating that this either goes sideways like this and dumps or just dumps. Like, there's nothing that says, yes, we're going to make this wave 5 bullshit prediction and go up to 89, 90, 100K. Like, no, that's not going to happen. There's not enough money to do that. And there's too much distribution. There hasn't been enough accumulation at all. You still talk to Agris? No, I really don't talk to Agris anymore. He flip-flops way too much. If he's watching or he sees this, no offense to him, but I think he flip-flops like every other day. He was calling a bottom, and then he said, no, we're not bottoming. We're going to go lower, and then we're going to bottom. He does his own TA. He does his own thing. Like, he has his own plans. And yes, he's been right before, and he's been on my live stream, and he's done a good job. And I think he's a great guy. But right now, I think he's just flip-flopping too much. I don't think he has the experience that I do in a bear market. And he thinks that the bottom's in. Guys, the bottom won't be in until we see literally like sideways for an entire year. Okay, you can look back at Bitcoin's entire history. Any kind of macro bottom, I mean, this is November 2018 to March 2019. That's 6-7 months. You go back even here. What is this, 2015? Right before the 2014, or right after the 2014 bear market, you had December 14th all the way to October 15th, so 9 months, maybe even longer, like 10 months. Guys, like bottoms and accumulation take months, even up to a year in this market. Especially with the recession coming. No, we're not going to get this. This is not going to happen. Like I hate to be absolute, because as a trader you should never be absolute, but this is not going to happen. No, not a chance. Could we get something like this, or maybe up to 44K and go down? Sure, it's very possible. Then we could do something like that. Very, very possible. But as breaking 50K breaks our overall macro bearish structure, and I just don't see us going any higher from there. Do you trade crypto full time? Yes. I never understood those wave theories. Yeah, like Elliott wave theory is a bunch of bullshit. The cycle isn't over. Well, those are people literally scamming people. The cycle was over in April of 2021. Literally, it was over here. This was a derivatives push to create a double top. If you're a long-term investor, and you would have made no more profits selling here than selling here. The bull market was over in April 21. thanks to some good advice about, yeah, I mean, it's, guys, just do his historical analysis. And there's been one event in Bitcoin's history where we V-shaped bottom and went up from there. And even still, there was plenty of areas to accumulate. That area is COVID. The COVID crash was the only time Bitcoin made a V-shaped recovery, consolidated, and then we continued the bull run. But why did that happen? Because we were already in a bullish cycle. We already had the halving. We already had bullish sentiment, and people had accumulated all throughout this period. So all of the COVID crash was just a black swan event that should have never happened. If it didn't happen, we were literally just going to do this and accumulate all throughout here and then boom up. But instead, we got the COVID crash. And the COVID crash, again, was a black swan event that nobody anticipated, nobody thought was going to happen, which, yes, we had a V-shaped recovery to return the market back to the mean. That's why that happened. I think the fear and greed index is broken. We still have a long way down. I mean, no, you can consolidate and change it. All right, moving on. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance, and then we'll look at Ethereum to Bitcoin and then call it a day. So Bitcoin dominance, we have a breakout. Look at that. We have a breakout of our diagonal line here. And just to make it a little bit cleaner, there you go. We have a clean breakout here. This is a double bottom into a bull flag, and we're breaking out. Your altcoins are about to get absolutely slaughtered. This was a big reason why I've been bearish on not only alts, but Bitcoin in general. For those of you that have been in the market long, you know that when Bitcoin dominance goes up, the rest of the market goes down. When Bitcoin dominance goes down, the rest of the market is most likely in a bull market cycle. And then last but not least, Ethereum to Bitcoin. We have a head and shoulders here. A very, very clean head and shoulders that I'm not sure how a lot of people aren't seeing. If we close below this diagonal neckline, things start to get really, really ugly for your altcoins. Ethereum generally leads the charge, and basically closing below that support line would, man, the smell would be bad in this market. Things would get really ugly really, really fast. I'm going to end the TA there. It's been about an hour. I am starving. I'm going to eat like an animal in about 15 minutes. But to those of you that are new to the live stream, I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I've also got a Twitter and a free Discord. You can check out all of my charts and analysis there. With all that said, guys, I am partnered with Bitget and MEXC, both great exchanges with high security. There is a trading competition with both exchanges. The Bitget competition is both individual and team-based. There's over 200 Bitcoin in rewards. All the sign-up details are in the chat bot, YouTube description, and my Discord. MEXC's trading competition is for $150,000. I would recommend just doing both. You don't have to have a $100,000 account to be trading. I'm pretty sure Bitget is, you just need $300. The MEXC one, I believe you need $1,000, but I have not looked too heavily into that one because I'm going to be on vacation for both trading competitions. But with all that said, guys, please stop listening to these noob analysts that only say up only. Okay, and if they have experience that's only in a bull market cycle, their opinion doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's just a waste of time. With all that said, please be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.